Hello dear friends of Standard 7. Welcome to English class. Today you are going to learn a new lesson of your English textbook. The title is Rats on a Train. That is lesson number 8 of your textbook. That has been written by one of the greatest authors of India, Rabindranath Tagore. Now you can see the information of authors and image of the author. He is the greatest personality who got Nobel Prize in 1913 for translating the Gitanjali from Bengali language to English language. This story is a humorous or laughable story that has been written by Rabindranath Tagore. There are certain characters in the story. Those are given, first of all, a group of boys. The strongest one is called Bhikkhun, an elderly man. He is considered as one of the aged person. Then middle-aged man, secretary of the school committee, and two vendors. Now we go for the lesson. First of all, I read the passages and afterward I'll explain the same page. So listen it carefully. This lesson is divided into two parts, that is scene 1 and scene 2. Now we are talking in this first video, we are talking about scene 1. Now you can see this whole lesson given in dialogue formation. So I will read one by one the first page and afterward I will explain. So listen it very carefully. Here the lesson starts with inside a coach of train. A group of boys are seated on their berth. They are talking in excited voices. Narrator, first of all describe the lesson, is called narrator. Start that schools are about to reopen and students are going to back to school from their homes. Boy 1, boy 2, boy 3. The names are not just particularly given in this lesson but only simply given boy 1, 2 and 3. So we'll go with that. Boy 1 ... means says. Here you can see is a colon sign. Colon sign means says or said. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous means laughable. A new Sanskrit teacher. Boy 2 said, certainly not, means absolutely not. We refuse to be taught by a new teacher. Boy 3 said, what's the new teacher's name? Boy 1 replied, Irr. It means disgusting manner, in the manner of dislike. Here I believe it's Kali Kumar Tarkalankar. The name of the teacher is given Kali Kumar Tarkalankar. Bhikkhun, one of the strongest or healthiest boy, says we'll give him such a hard time too that he won't, means will not even dare to continue teaching us. Let him show up. Show means arrive. Boy 1 says, look, the train has come to a halt. Halt means stoppage or station. Boy 4 says, what's this place called? Bhikkhun says rudely. Bhikkhun was a very rude boy who talks to the other person in a rude manner. Even he was talking with his friend in a rude manner. Read the board, silly. Silly means foolish. It's Arkola. The first station they reached, that was Arkola. The lesson starts with scene number 1 and you are hearing or listening the summary of scene number 1. The lesson or scene starts with inside a coach of a train. A group of boys are seated on their berths. They are talking in their excited voices. Now I am going to explain two words, coach and berth. What does it mean by these two words? I am going to explain by using the image. Now the image you can see, it is called compartment or coach. The internal part of a railway is called compartment or coach. Now what does it mean by berth? Here this is called berth, a sleeping area in a ship or in aeroplane or in a railway. It is called berth. So here the narrator narrates the story. Some boys, a group of boys who are seated in a compartment on the berths, and they are started talking about one thing. And what is that? That is given. Narrator says schools are about to reopen, going to be started, and students are going back to schools from their homes. And boy 1 says this is ridiculous, means very silly. They didn't like the situation. So this ridiculous a new Sanskrit teacher. This group of boys didn't like the arrival of Sanskrit teacher. They were used to be taught by this old teacher. So boy 2 says, certainly not, we refuse to be taught by a new teacher. The boy 3 says, what the new teacher's name? Here, so boy 1 says, in a disgusting manner, I believe it's Kali Kumar Tarka Lankar. The name of the new teacher is Kali Kumar Tarka Lankar. Bhikkhun, one of the strongest boy, and he is very rude person. So how he behaves, that is given. Will give him such a hard time, means difficult time, that he will not want, means will not even dare to continue teaching us. Let him show up. Show up means arrive. Let him arrive as and when he enter the school and start to teach us. At the time, will not let him, that person, Kali Kumar Tarkalankar, teach properly. By doing mischief, they all want to disturb the teacher. So here boy 1 says, look at the train. The train has come to a halt, means one destination or stoppage or station. Boy 4 says, what's this place called? Bhikkhun says rudely, because Bhikkhun is a rude person. He talks with each and every person in a rude manner. So here Bhikkhun says to boy 4, read the board silly, means stupid. This is the station named Arkhola. So the first station they reach, that was Arkhola. Now we go for the next page of the same lesson. I'll read the whole page and afterward I will summarize it. The page start with word. An elderly man boards in the train. He is carrying a bedroll, a few bundles, a big trunk, and 2 large earthen pots. Bhikkhun rudely says, why are you coming in here? Is why are you just entering in our compartment? Can't you see that this coach is full? Go to the next coach. Elderly man, one elder person. All the coaches are full, he replied. All the coaches are full. There isn't any even place to stand in any of them. I'll sit in a corner and won't bother, means will not bother, means trouble you children at all. The elderly man rolls out his bedding on the floor and sits comfortably on it. Now elderly man asks question. Elderly man asked, where are you boys going? Bhikkhun says, we are going sort out somebody. Elderly man asked again, and who is that? Bhikkhun says, Kalo Kumro Tatka Lanka. Now you can see here the name is already changed by some of this person, means these boys, and tease him by this name of this teacher. The real name of the teacher is Kali Kumar Tarka Lankar. In place of that, Bhikkhun pronounce Kalo Kumro Tatka Lanka. Means by this way, he wants to tease somebody, and that is new teacher. Boys together said loudly, Kalo Kumro Tatka Lanka, and all started laughing. Elderly man says in Bengali, this means, what does it mean in Bengali? That is given. That is the meaning, black pumpkin and red hot chili. Kalo Kumro Tatka Lanka, in Bengali it means black color pumpkin and red hot chili. So by this way, all the boys started teasing a new Sanskrit teacher. They don't know who is the teacher, even though unknowingly they started teasing the teacher. Now what happened? Bhikkhun says, we know that. So rudely he replied to elderly man, we know that. What does it mean in Bengali? That is black pumpkin and red hot chili. The boys laugh loudly while the man begins to read a newspaper. Boy 4 says the train has stopped to a halt again. Elderly man, we have reached Asansol. That is the new station. The next station is Asansol. Elderly man standing up. I'll be back soon. I need to have a wash. The elderly man exits. Exit means to move from the compartment. Exit. Exit means to move from compartment. It's called EXITS, exit. The boys get busy looking into the earthen pots that belong to elderly man. They happily dig into his food. They giggle and laugh. Giggle means smile secretly and started laughing with a loud noise. Bhikkhun says, wait till he sees his pots plundered. Plunder means stolen or theft. Like thief steal your things. In the same way, the boys are stealing some food from this earthen pot. Elderly man re-enters after some minutes in the same coach. Boy one says, get off this coach. There are rats all over this place. Elderly man says or asked, surprised, rats? Where are the rats? So here Bhikkhun says, look at your pots. See what they have done while you were away. Means Mr. Means who says this? Bhikkhun says to elderly man, Mr. Those horrible rats have run away with most of your food. The elderly man looks into the pots and what he found out. Now listen the explanation of the same page. As and when the train stopped at first station, that was Arkola, at the same time elderly man boards his gets in with some luggage. He was carrying a bedroll, few bundles, a big trunk and two large earthen pot. So here listen it. Some thing means here bedroll, few bundles, big trunk and two large earthen pot he is having as a luggage. That is called bedroll, that he is having this kind of big trunk that elderly man is having, and two earthen pots that elderly man having in luggage. And afterward he get into the same compartment when the small children, we can say the students who are talking and making mischief, in the same compartment he wants to enter. So Bhikkhun asks rudely to him, why are you entering in our compartment? So elderly man replies, I just visited all the coaches but I couldn't find any place. So let me just get inside your compartment and I will not bother you and trouble you. I'll sit in one corner. And afterward, elderly man just roll out his bedding, means immediately he just sit in the same compartment and open his bed and just sit on that. Elderly man at the same time started asking, and that he is asking first question, where are you going boys? So Bhikkhun replied, we are just going to sort out somebody, to find out somebody. Elderly man says, and who is that? So Bhikkhun teasing that person by this name that he doesn't know who is that person. Unknowingly they are teasing the name, changing the name of the teacher, and that is Kalo Kumro Tatka Lanka, because they don't want to learn under that teacher, the new teacher. So Bhikkhun said, we know that the what is the meaning, don't tell us. So he was just behaving rudely to the elderly man. Now boy 4 says the train has stopped to a second station and the name of the second station is Asansol. Now at the same time elderly man got up from the place and he went for washing, means for just cleaning his face and to become fresh. At the same, what happened? Same time when the person, elderly man, leave the place, immediately all the boys surrounded near the earthen pots and he looked inside the earthen pots, started laughing and giggling. That is the word giggle. Giggle is also a kind of laughing, but it's called secret laughing. Means the laugh in which way you are laughing that nobody know you. Means you have to keep your hands on your mouth and start laughing. It's called giggle. Now Bhikkhun says, wait till he sees his pots plundered. So at the same time they are plundering the pots. They are stealing something from the pots. After some time, elderly man entered. At the same time, boy one replied, get off the train, means you have to get down from the same compartment. They are all rats over here, and that is a proof. Elderly man said, where are the rats? Bhikkhun says, look in your pot, what happened? Mister, those horrible rats have run away with most of your food. Elderly man looks into the pots and he found out maximum or most of the thing has been most probably whatever the things mango sweets he is having, all the things has been stolen. Now we move to next page. I will read the next page and afterward I will explain. So listen it carefully. Boy 2. And they have even carried away the mangoes you had in that bundle. The man lifts his bundle to only find it much lighter than before. It remains smiling. It doesn't matter. Had I known that there would be rats on this train, I would have got a larger stock of food. It doesn't matter now. The boys looked disappointed. Boy 3 says, Bhikun, now at Bardhaman. Now the third station, that is Bardhaman. There will be an hour's halt. There will be an hour's halt. Mean for 1 hour the train stop at the same station, that is Bardhaman. And we have to change our train. Elderly man, yes, we need to change trains. Now we'll look for a seat in separate coach. I won't trouble you boys anymore. Boys together said, no, no, you must come along with us. We'll guard your bundles and pots. Bhikun says, well, means will ensure that, means make sure that the rats don't take away the foods that is left. The boys and the elderly man get off the train. Now boy 2 says there is a proof, because whatever the mangoes in that bundle also had been stolen by the rats. The elderly man lifts the bundle to measure the weight of this bundle and he found that it was much lighter than before. Elderly man started smiling because he is a teacher, so immediately knows that who is that rat really. It doesn't matter. Had I known that there would be rats on this train, I would have got a larger stock of food. It doesn't matter. By this way, he started smiling and saying to the boys that whatever happened with me, it doesn't matter to me. If I know in advance, so I can get more food for the rats. So by listening this, the boys looked very disappointed because they want to irritate, give trouble to this elderly man. Even though the elderly man don't get troubled. He started laughing. Boy 3 said, Bhikun, now they reach at the next station, that is Bardhaman, and the train stopped at for 1 hour there. Elderly man says, we need to change a train, and boys also need to change the train to go to their final destination. So boys together all they started changing the train, but before that elderly man suggested him now he want to go to the separate coach. So that's why here all the boys shouted together, no, no, you must not change the coach or compartment. You have to share the same compartment with us because we'll guard your bundles and pots. And Bhikun also make sure that the rats don't take away the food again because they will take care now properly. Now first scene is over. Now we go for scene number second. What happened? There is a ending part of the lesson. Now I'll read the page and afterward I will summarize it. So listen it now. The boys and elderly men are seated in a coach. A vendor, the sailor, the person who sells different thing. A vendor goes past in the windows. The man buys the children packets of sweets. The boys take the packets, delighted at this man's generosity, means kindness. Boys together said, hooray, this is fun. A mango seller comes to the window. Here mango seller means vendor, who just move from door to door, window to window. It is called vendor. The man buys mangoes for the boys and hands over the packet to them. Elderly man says, the rats won't go hungry now. This is the line that suggests the intelligence we can say of elderly man, because he stated one sentence, that is the rats won't go hungry now, means will not go hungry. So who is considered as a rat? You can imagine, you can guess that here rats means all the boys, and elderly man knew it in advance as and when some things had been stolen from the pots. So at the same time he knew very well, but he didn't declare. Now he declares that the rats won't go hungry now. The boys started laughing. Bhikkhun says, looking curiously at the elderly man, tell us, where are you going? Elderly man says, I am a teacher, I am looking for a job. Looking for means searching. Boy 3 says, what subjects do you teach? Elderly man says, I teach Sanskrit. Here, boys and elderly men are seated in a now new compartment and they change the train, but the compartment was same. A vendor many person or sailor goes past means pass nearby this window of the same compartment. So the man, elderly man, buys something, purchase something for the children, and that was packet of sweets and deliver to each and every boy. And the boys delighted, they got happy to because here elderly man showed the generosity, his kind nature towards the boys, even though boys started irritating him. Even though that person who was very gentle shows generosity to the each and every boy, each and every person, here shows the kindness of the human being. Boy says, hooray, this is fun, and they all started laughing because they got some sweet, the packets of sweet to eat. Now second, a mango seller also passing nearby the window. So again the elderly man purchased some mangoes and handed over to the boys. Elderly man now says the rats won't go hungry, so he realized that whatever things happened with him, that was done by the boys only. The boys also started laughing by listening the word spoken by elderly man. Now Bhikkhun says, what? Tell us, where are you going? So elderly man replied, I am looking for a job, searching for a job because he is a Sanskrit teacher. Now we go to next page. I will read the page and then explain this afterward. The boys clap their hands excitedly. Boy 4 say, then you must come with us to our school. We need a Sanskrit teacher. Bhikkhun says, we'll not let Kalo Kumro Tatkalanka teach us. Elderly man says, oh, but your headmaster may not wish to give me this job. Boys together says, he better give you this job. Bhikkhun says, or else we all leave this school. Elderly man says, if you insist, I'll come along with you. Look, we have reached. Bhikkhun looking out of the window. Why has the secretary of the school committee come to this platform? Boy 1 says, he's probably come to receive us. The children and the elderly man stand up and get off the train. The boys get off the train after the elderly man has descended. The letter is received by respectable man, the secretary. The secretary welcome. Welcome sir, welcome Master Tarkalankar. I welcome you to our school. The secretary bends to touch the elderly man's feet. The boys look at their new teacher is in utter amazement. The elderly man smiles at them and pats the secretary on his shoulder, and the curtain gets down. Miss lesson over. Now we go for the summary. The boys clap their hands. The boys just started clapping their hands because they want a new teacher who are very friendly to them. So here he found all the boys found the new teacher in the form of elderly man. So here Bhikkhun said, we are not ready to be taught by the new teacher named Kalo Kumro Tatkalanka. So elderly man says here, oh, but headmaster may not wish you to give me this job. All the person, it's all the boys ready to just made him a teacher. But here elderly man says, if I'll come with you and your headmaster or principal may not ready, then what will you do? So boys said together, he better give you job, he must give you job, will request him. Or else means otherwise, we'll all leave the school. Elderly man says, if you insist, saying this forcibly, so I'll come with you. And elderly man says, now we have reached our destination, yani last station. Bhikkhun says, looking out of window, that why has the secretary of the school committee come to this platform? One of the respectable person, that is secretary of the school, come to the platform to receive somebody. Who is that somebody? You will realize after few minutes. Boy one says he is probably come to receive us. So boy one says, oh, he may be, yes, he is coming over here to receive us because we are coming from outside. The children and the elderly man stand up to get off the train. To get up means to drop down from the train. They all stood up from the place, and the boys get off the train after elderly man had descended. And the later one means elderly man, a respectable man. The secretary received him means here elderly man. Now secretary said, "Welcome sir, welcome Mr. Tarkalankar. I welcome you to our school." It means all the boys who are teasing the person, that is the person who is traveling with them, and that is himself a Sanskrit teacher, new Sanskrit teacher, and that is Master Tarkalankar. All the boys got realized they had done a big mistake in front of the teacher. The secretary bends to touch the elderly man's feet. Here, secretary bends to touch the elderly man's feet. That is the respect, the respectable personality, how much respect he got, that is given by the same sentence. The secretary bends to touch the elderly man's feet. So here one of the secretary of the school bent and touched the elderly man's feet. The boys look at their new teacher in utter amazement, I mean extreme amazement, surprise. And the elderly man smiled at them, all the boys, and pats the secretary on his shoulder, and they move. It means at last all the boys came to know who is the real teacher. That is the real teacher they found in the form of elderly man, and that is Kalo Kumro Tatka Lanka, means Kali Kumar Tarkalankar. Now lesson ends.